Online game, I possess a monster merging simulator. Chapter 171, SSSSS-Level Reward. A ball of dragon soul. 2, 3, 4, 5. The Dragon of Light had given Lorne the mission of finding 5 dragon souls, so when it saw that Lorne had calmly taken out 5 dragon souls, it immediately nodded in satisfaction. "Young man, you are stronger than I imagined. Congratulations on successfully completing my test. You will receive a generous mission reward." With that, the system's notification sounded in Lorne's ear. Ding! Congratulations on completing the mission, Divine Radiance, 1. Grade A mission reward. Wait! Before the reward could be given, Lorne interrupted the notification. He looked at the Dragon of Light and said, "Dragon God, I have found more than 5 dragon souls in the ruins of the war." Oh! The Dragon of Light's eyes lit up. It was obviously very surprised. Lorne took out a new dragon soul from his bag. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In the blink of an eye, a huge cluster of light appeared in the church. Every ball of light was a sleeping soul of the dragons. Seeing the scene before him, the Dragon of Light could not help but be shocked. He looked at Lorne in surprise. "Young man, I really did not expect that with your strength back then, you could actually find 10 dragon souls in the ruins of the war. This is definitely not an achievement that can be tested." Before the Dragon of Light's praise could stop, Lorne saw that his mission reward had changed. The mission reward that was originally only A level directly increased to SS level at this moment. From the looks of it, as long as he handed in some souls, he could still increase the reward of the mission. "Dragon God, please wait a moment." Lorne quickly took out the remaining dragon souls from his bag. When he retrieved the 15th dragon soul, he looked at the Dragon of Light and said, "Dragon God, this is the soul of a dragon named Walter. He entrusted me to tell you that he has let down your expectations." Walter. Hearing this name, the expression of the Dragon of Light immediately changed. Its huge golden eyes suddenly constricted, and its sadness surged. Seeing him like this, Lorne was pleased. This time, his mission reward would definitely be rich. "It was my fault. If I could have had an angel team accompany you to fight the Bone Dragon army, you would not have died." The Dragon of Light looked at the dragon soul in front of it, and the emotion in its huge golden eyes was slightly sad. "Walter, although you did not win completely, you defeated the Bone Dragon army in the Lake of Death. You are a heroic warrior of the Light faction, don't worry. Next, I will use the power of faith to nourish your soul and think of a way to reconstruct your body and resurrect you." Damn! Lorne could not help but be shocked. The Dragon of Light was really powerful. It could actually resurrect a dead dragon. This would not do. If Walter revived, then wouldn't the matter of the cold desolate dragon city be impossible to hide? "Dragon God, can you resurrect dead dragons?" Lorne asked nervously. "Yes." The Dragon of Light nodded. "As long as I use the power of faith in the church, I can repair their souls and help them rebuild their bodies. However, this will take a long time. Moreover, it's not peaceful recently. I can't use all my energy to deal with this." Lorne was overjoyed. "How long will it take?" "It can be as short as a few months or as long as many years." The Dragon of Light sighed. He also wanted to resurrect Walter as soon as possible, but his strength could not reach that level. Hearing this answer, Lorne sighed heavily. To him, it was the best outcome for Walter to be revived in a few months, because at this time, he could completely turn cold desolate Dragon City into his guild territory. "Young man, I'm glad you can find Walter's soul. He was once one of the 4 most capable commanders under me. The embers of the war seem to be about to reignite. By resurrecting him, the Light faction will have a stronger foundation. As the hero, you should also receive the highest reward for this mission." With that, the Dragon of Light's eyes emitted a bright radiance, and golden light poured over Lorne like raindrops. Ding! Congratulations on thoroughly completing the mission, Divine Radiance. 1. The Dragon of Light, Haymat, has given you an SSSSS-Level mission reward. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the mission reward, EXP plus 1 million, plus 2.5 million, plus 3.5 million. Congratulations on obtaining the mission reward, Empire Reputation plus 50,000, Light Faction Reputation plus 10,000. Congratulations on obtaining the mission reward, Free Attribute plus 100, Class Specific Equipment Set Treasure Chest, Platinum, X1. A series of system rewards appeared. However, this was only the mission reward. After this notification, the Dragon of Light gave Lorne an additional reward. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the reward of the Dragon of Light, Divine Power plus 10. Congratulations on obtaining the Dragon of Light's gift, Light Dragon Crystal X1, Dragon Soul Compass X1, Dragon Treasure Vault X1. Congratulations on obtaining the recognition of the Dragon of Light, Dragon of Light's Affinity plus 100, Dragon Race of Order Reputation plus 500. Congratulations on obtaining the Dragon of Light's gift, Dragon's Pharmacopoeia X1. Looking at the series of information on the system interface, Lorne was so happy that he could not speak. The mission reward was 7 million experience points, 50,000 Empire Reputation, 10,000 Faction Reputation points, 100 free attribute points, and a Platinum Grade Equipment Set Treasure Chest. There was no need to pay attention to the previous rewards. Most importantly, it was the Platinum Treasure Chest. Class Specific Equipment Set Treasure Chest. Grade, Platinum. Effect, after opening it, one of the parts of a Platinum equipment set can be obtained. Yes, this was a Platinum equipment set treasure chest. Although there was only one piece of equipment inside, in Divine Realm, as long as there was one could drop other parts when killing bosses. It just so happened that Lorne urgently needed to change his equipment. This treasure chest came at the right time. However, now was not the time to open the treasure chest. He still had other missions that he had not completed. Moreover, the most important reward was not this treasure chest. Chapter 172, Divine Dragon Bloodline. After the mission reward, Lorne received an additional reward from the Dragon of Light. First, it was 10 points of divine power. In this case, Lorne's divine power reached 80 points. 80 seconds of flying could allow him to deal with more danger and overcome most of the special terrain. Next were the Light Dragon Crystal, Dragon Soul Compass, and Dragon's Treasure Vault. To Lorne, the Dragon Crystal was not unfamiliar. The Dragon Souls had given him Dragon Crystal fragments before, and the only difference was that the Dragon Crystal's attributes were light. This should be a Dragon Crystal unique to the Dragon of Light. If that was the case, then the value of this Dragon Crystal would definitely be more expensive than other Dragon Crystals of other attributes. In addition, the Dragon of Light gave him the Dragon Soul Compass and the Dragon Treasure Vault. These two special items were definitely the most precious among all the rewards. These were the two items that Lorne wanted the most. Now, he had finally succeeded. The only worry in Lorne's heart vanished. As for the subsequent rewards, there was no need to elaborate on the Dragon of Light's affinity and the Dragon Race of Order reputation. In short, they were very rare. In the end, Lorne obtained a very important reward: Dragon's Pharmacopoeia. Dragon's Pharmacopoeia. Grade, Legendary. Introduction: a pharmacopoeia passed down from generation to generation by the Dragon of Light. It records a large number of medicinal herb characteristics and potion formulas. Carrying this tool, one can immediately obtain the ability to differentiate high-level medicinal herbs and possess a super-level potion brewing skill and high-level herb picking skill. Note: the potion formulas of the Dragon's Pharmacopoeia require enough Dragon Race reputation points to unlock. Moreover, the higher the quality of the potion, the higher the reputation points required for the Dragon Race of Order. Seeing the effect of the tool, Lorne was stunned. What kind of ability did he need now? He would definitely say that it was herb picking. This was because there were countless herbs in the alchemy workshop of the cold desolate dragon city. According to the experience of the players, those were definitely high-quality special potions and were extremely valuable. If he did not obtain this medicinal book, he would definitely go to the Alchemist Association and let them help identify the medicinal herbs. But now, there was no need. With this pharmacopoeia on him, he could completely differentiate the herbs himself and collect them. In addition, this pharmacopoeia gave him the ability to brew high-grade potions. Lorne checked the potion formulas and found that the potions were all very advanced. The effect was several times stronger than that of Iron Skull City's potions of the same level. If he built a territory city in the future, then these special potions would definitely become the #1 product in the territory. However, it seemed that the high-level potion part of the pharmacopoeia could only be unlocked with a very high dragon race reputation. With his current dragon race reputation, he could only check the formula for a level 4 potion. Young man, you found so many dragon souls in the ruins of the war. Did you find the skeletons of the dragons? The Dragon of Light's voice cut through Lorne's delusions. Yes. Lorne nodded, then took out the dragon skeletons from his bag. Dragon skeletons were rarer than dragon souls, but because Lorne had found dragon souls in the cold desolate dragon city, he had obtained a lot of dragon skeletons. Lorne took them all out. There were a total of 12 dragon skeletons. Very good. The Dragon of Light said, Doris is creating the undead bone dragon. You have collected so many dragon skeletons, which is equivalent to ruining her plan. This is a huge contribution. I should give you the most generous reward. Young man, your bloodline is still the most ordinary human bloodline. It can't bring you greater potential. Bloodline. Lorne was pleasantly surprised. As the #1 player, he knew very well that bloodline could bring greater strength to players. It was an attribute that was as important as a hidden class. According to the Dragon of Light, it wanted to give him a high-level bloodline. With that in mind, Lorne immediately replied, Dragon God, I hope to obtain the most powerful bloodline. Yes, young man. Since you're so ambitious, I'll give you 2 choices. The Dragon of Light said, firstly, there is a very rare dragon bloodline. This bloodline can allow you to have the same talent as dragons. Although it is not the strongest, it is relatively easy to nurture. Your future path will be very smooth. Secondly, there is the Divine Dragon bloodline. This is the bloodline flowing through the body of the great Divine Dragon of Order. It has the greatest power in this world, but correspondingly, it is the bloodline that is the most difficult to nurture. If you choose this bloodline, your future path will be very bumpy. Young man, which do you choose? The Dragon of Light looked at Lorne again, as if the Dragon God liked to see people make choices. This time, it gave Lorne 2 options. However, according to previous practices, the latter was definitely the best choice. Especially since he was doing the Divine Radiance mission. As the source of the power of the Divine Dragon of Order, he had to use the bloodline of the Divine Dragon of Order to control it. The result was obvious. Lorne answered directly, Dragon God, I choose the Divine Dragon bloodline. For the sake of the eternal light of this world, I am willing to walk the most difficult path of growth. Young man, I admire your courage, but this is no small matter. I hope you can reconsider and not make a decision in a hurry. There's no need to consider, Dragon God. I'm sure of my choice. All right. The Dragon of Light no longer advised, but it could be seen from his eyes that this was the result he wanted. Then, a brilliant light blossomed from his body like a golden sun. In the center of the sun, a drop of blood that emitted endless light poured into Lorne. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the Dragon of Light's gift, Divine Dragon Bloodline. When the system notification sound disappeared, Lorne immediately felt a warm feeling in his body, as if all the cells in his body had been purified. His attributes had also been greatly enhanced at this moment. Lorne immediately opened his attributes panel to check for information regarding the bloodline. The moment he saw the bloodline information, he was completely stunned. Chapter 173, 4 Orange Skills. Divine Dragon Bloodline. Grade, Mythical. Purity, 10%. Effect, plus 10% HP, plus 10% MP, plus 10% movement speed, plus 10% critical strike chance, plus 10% chance of immunity to negative effects, 5 stars aptitude. Introduction, the bloodline of a mythical dragon. When its purity reaches 100%, your constitution will undergo a qualitative change. It could be seen that this was a mythical bloodline. Although its purity was only 10%, the effect was very terrifying. HP, MP, movement speed, and critical strike chance were all increased by 10%. Although the attributes that were increased now were not much, when his stats increase in the future, the percentage increase would be more obvious. Moreover, this was only a bloodline with 10% purity. If one day, Lorne could raise his bloodline to 100%, then this bloodline could directly double his attributes. In addition, this bloodline gave him the 5 stars aptitude. Any player in the Divine Realm knew that aptitude represented the free attribute points that players could obtain per level. 5 stars aptitude meant 150 free attribute points on the current Lorne. This increase was already terrifying. Young man, your bloodline is already the most precious bloodline in the world, but your class is too ordinary. The Dragon of Light's golden eyes looked at Lorne seriously, as if he had seen everything. Lorne's eyes widened again. Was the Dragon God going to give him a hidden class? This was a great thing. Lorne quickly said, Dragon God, I hope to obtain the most powerful hidden class. Only then will I not sully the bloodline of the Divine Dragon of Order. Young man, I think you might be mistaken. I don't want to give you a hidden class, because the path you choose is to inherit the Divine Radiance. Therefore, before you truly master the Divine Radiance, you cannot change your class to another hidden class. Moreover, I don't think there is a class that is suitable for you in this world. A fixed summoner hidden class will only limit your future. Even the Dragon Summoner class is not suitable for you. In my opinion, you are a very charming summoner. So many monsters with powerful potential are willing to follow in your footsteps. I think you should persist in this development and walk your own path. This is very likely to be an opportunity for you to ignite your divine flame. The Dragon of Light said slowly. Although he did not gain any substantial benefits, Lorne felt that he had a point. Moreover, he had also obtained a very important piece of information, which was whether or not he could persist in his development would affect the chances of igniting his divine flame. Although Lorne did not understand the true meaning, he knew he had to keep that in mind. This might be a special notification from the game system. In addition, it seemed that the players really had a chance to ignite their divine flame and become as powerful as the Dragon of Light. Coupled with the fact that the Divine Realm could be materialized, Lorne was even more excited. Although I can't let you change your class to a hidden class, I can help you make up for your lack of class potential. The Dragon of Light said, the strength of a hidden class lies in your potential and the skills you have mastered. Now that you have the bloodline of the Divine Dragon, your aptitude has also increased. In that case, I only need to give you some special skills now and you can make up for another disadvantage. With that, the Dragon of Light's eyes shot out a golden light that shone on Lorne. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the guidance of the Dragon of Light. You have successfully learned the skill, Cooperative Strike. Congratulations on obtaining the guidance of the Dragon of Light. You have successfully learned the skill, Triple Blink. Congratulations on obtaining the guidance of the Dragon of Light. You have successfully learned the skill, Damage Transfer. Congratulations on obtaining the guidance of the Dragon of Light. You have successfully learned a skill, Super Frequency Release. In a short moment, Lorne learned 4 skills. These were skills personally taught by the Dragon of Light. The effects were definitely astonishing. Lorne eagerly opened his skill panel. There were indeed 4 additional skills inside, and the skill icons were all glowing orange-gold. Cooperative Strike, orange. Quality. Level, 1. Effect, give your own attack power to the pet to achieve a joint attack effect. This skill can be used together with another skill. Duration, 3 seconds. Cooldown, 30 seconds. Consumption, 1000 MP. This was the first skill that Lorne had obtained, a rare orange skill. Previously, it had been said that the color skills were different from ordinary quality-based skills. Under normal circumstances, skills that were orange in color would at least be S grade and at the highest SSS grade. The specific value would depend on the effect of the skill. In Lorne's eyes, this skill was definitely an SSS grade top-notch skill. This was because the main damage dealer of the team Aisha had a Phantom Combo Plus skill. This skill could not deal critical damage, but it could be effective at the same time as an amplification skill. If Lorne used the Cooperative Strike skill on Aisha, her damage output would increase by another level. Are the other skills as powerful as this? Feeling awesome, Lorne closed the panel and checked another skill. Triple Blink, orange. Quality. Level, 1. Effect, teleport towards a designated location. The distance can reach up to 50 yards at maximum. It can be stored for up to 3 consecutive uses. Cooldown, 10 seconds. Consumption, 400 MP per use. The effect of this skill was simply ridiculous. Everyone knew that Blink was a mage player's signature movement skill. Just the movement alone gave all the melee players a headache. Furthermore, this skill could store 3 uses. With this skill and the flying effect of the angel's wings, Lorne could basically ignore any attack that flew at him. Then, the third skill. Damage Transfer, orange. Quality. Level, 1. Effect, after binding with a pet, it will share 50% of its master's damage. However, attacks will deal double the damage to it. Cooldown, 1 hour. Consumption, none. With this skill, Lorne could distribute the damage he suffered to his pets, increasing his survivability. Of course, the damage dealt would be doubled for pets. For example, if he received 100 points of damage, the pet would receive 50% of the damage. 50% was 50 points of damage, but on the pet, it would deal 100 points of damage. However, that did not matter. After all, Lorne's pets had hundreds of thousands of health points. It was difficult to deal fatal damage to them. Chapter 174, Death Angel Equipment Set. Looking at the last skill. Super Frequency Release, orange. Quality. Level, 1. Effect, directly allow a certain skill of the pet to be refreshed. Cooldown, 60 seconds. Consumption, 1000 MP. Like the first skill, this was also a support skill. In terms of the effect on pets, Lorne felt that this skill was more powerful. It could immediately refresh Aisha's Phantom Combo and deal a second wave of damage. According to the upper limit of Aisha's current attack, 2 Phantom Combo plus attacks would cause her maximum damage to exceed 160,000. No monster could withstand such a frequency of damage. Even a level 20 boss might be instantly killed by such damage. From this, it could be seen that these few skills had made a tremendous change in Lorne's strength. Even without a hidden class, he could still surpass that of any player. With these skills, your strength has also reached a certain level. I think I can give you another special mission now. Special mission? Lorne immediately nodded in agreement. Based on the mission reward today, the missions given by the Dragon of Light in the future were all important. He had to complete them as soon as possible. A long time ago, the dragons once led the Light faction. At that time, in order to resist the attack of the darkness, the dragons built a grand city on the border and sent countless dragons to guard there, completely dispelling the darkness to the north of the world. But many years later, a final battle suddenly erupted. The dragon race and the Dark Abyss fought the most intense battle for their territory. Although the dragon race won in the end, they also suffered heavy losses. The once huge dragon race directly lost 90% of their members. Such a race with few members could no longer rule such a huge world. Therefore, the future world was no longer under the dragon's control. Humanity stood out from countless races. They built their empire and redistributed the border, but this also caused the cold, desolate dragon city to no longer stand on the border. The isolated, cold, desolate dragon city faced the attacks of countless monsters, but the remaining dragons still held on bitterly, unwilling to abandon this honored city. Year after year passed like this. Due to not stepping into this area, the people of the Light faction began to forget this city. After several thousand years of change, the cold, desolate dragon city completely disappeared from the history of this world. At this point, the Dragon of Light was very sad. After a moment of silence, it continued, "As a descendant of the dragon race, I have always remembered that glorious city. Now that the Dark Abyss is restless, I think that if we can find the dragon city standing in the north, we might be able to use it as a foundation to build another defense. Therefore, I hope that you can use the power of the Dragon Soul Compass and Angel's Wings to find this lost, cold, desolate dragon city." Lorne was speechless. He had thought that it was a profitable mission, but in the end, it was to find cold, desolate dragon city. "What do you want me to do, Dragon God?" Lorne asked deliberately. "I hope you can go to the ruins of the war again. I once heard that the cold, desolate dragon city is in the ruins of the war. The Dragon Soul Compass I gave you can sense the existence of the cold, desolate dragon city from a certain distance. I hope it can help you. Don't worry, Dragon God. I will definitely complete the mission." Lorne immediately accepted the mission firmly. This made the Dragon of Light very satisfied with him. Lorne struck while the iron was hot. He opened the bag and took out the blood-stained unknown fragment from the one-eyed giant snake. This fragment was clearly made of a very special metal that contained rich light power. This is a fragment of the angel set. When the Dragon of Light saw this fragment, the expression in its eyes became complicated. In the end, it sighed, "It seems that you and Gabriel are indeed fated. This is a fragment of Gabriel's angel set, one of the 7 demigod equipment sets in the Church of Light, the Death Angel set. I'm glad to see this set of equipment again, as if Gabriel is still beside me. Unfortunately, Gabriel can no longer return. The war is still ongoing. This lost demigod set should be found and become an important force in the future to resist the Dark Abyss." With that, a brilliant light shot out of the huge golden eyes and enveloped the small fragment. A moment later, the fragment was reconstructed in the light. Countless lights intertwined and finally formed a pair of exquisite angel boots that emitted a holy and pure light. Then, under the guidance of the Dragon of Light, the pair of angel boots turned into a light that entered Lorne's body. However, the equipment did not fuse into his body, but into Aisha, who was resting in the pet space. Ding! Congratulations on finding a piece of the 7 demigod equipment set of the Church of Light for the Dragon of Light Death Angel's War Boots. Congratulations on obtaining the reward, Dragon of Light's Affinity +10, Dragon Race of Order Reputation +100. Congratulations to your pet Aisha for obtaining the reward, Equipment Slot +7. Congratulations to your pet, Aisha, for obtaining the reward, Death Angel's War Boots. A series of notifications appeared. It was also at this moment that the angel boots completely fused with Aisha. On her long legs, the war boots emitted a holy light. They looked beautiful and dazzling. Lorne quickly opened Aisha's attributes panel and found a new equipment panel. There were a total of 7 spots in her equipment list: weapon, helmet, shoulder guard, breastplate, bracer, leg armor, and shoes. Originally, pets could not obtain additional equipment attributes, but this time, with the help of the Dragon of Light, Aisha obtained this ability. In that case, Aisha's future potential would be greater than that of any other pet. At this moment, combat boots that emitted a holy light appeared on her body. Equipment: Death Angel's War Boots, Set, 1/7. Grade: Mythical Demigod, Fragment. Attributes: Constitution, Spirit, Intelligence, Strength, Agility plus, level x2. Additional effect: increases the user's attack speed by 20%. Additional effect: increases the user's movement speed by 20%. Special effect: increases the user's critical strike chance by 20%. Introduction: a piece of the Death Angel equipment set repaired by the Dragon of Light with the power of faith. Although it is not complete, it can still increase the user's strength greatly. Chapter 175, Divine Radiance. It's different from my angel set. The angel's wings on Lorne was a mythical equipment, but the boots were mythical demigod, which meant they were demigod grade equipment. The demigod grade was close to the mythical grade, but it did not have the power to truly become mythical. Moreover, this set only had 7 items, while Lorne's had 10. Clearly, Lorne's own equipment set was more precious. It was no wonder that the Dragon of Light did not directly put this equipment on him. Of course, although it was a demigod grade equipment, the attributes of these combat boots were still very astonishing. As boots, it added, level x2, stats to all 5 attributes. There were 3 other special effects, plus 20% attack speed, plus 20% movement speed, plus 20% critical strike chance. These 3 effects were the ones that assassins needed the most. It could be said that with this equipment, Aisha's combat strength would increase by at least 50%. Therefore, this was the best outcome. However, at this moment, from the perspective of the players, Lorne saw that the elf girl, Aisha, was stunned by the boots on her legs. "Master, this equipment. It's for you," Lorne smiled. "I hope you can display greater combat strength in the future battles. Are you really giving it to me?" The elven girl looked at Lorne in disbelief. After receiving his affirmative answer, she nodded earnestly. At this moment, the system notification sounded. Ding! Congratulations to your pet Aisha for obtaining the demigod grade equipment Death Angel's War Boots. It is currently ranked 2nd on the Iron Skull City's equipment ranking and has received a plus 9% damage reward. Would you like to reveal the details of the equipment for the other players to admire? Reveal a portion, Lorne said. Even when he obtained the mythical equipment previously, he did not hide it, so this equipment naturally would not be concealed. Therefore, in the next moment, someone suddenly shouted through a loudspeaker in Iron Skull City. "Gosh! Look! The equipment ranking is updated." This sentence attracted the attention of countless players. They opened the equipment rankings and checked. Then, everyone was stunned. First place, Angel's Wings, Mythical, Owner, Tyrant. Reward, damage plus 10%. Second place, Death Angel's War Boots, Mythical Demigod, Owner, Aisha, Tyrant. Reward, damage plus 9%. When they saw the equipment that replaced the second place, countless players spat out blood. What the heck was going on? Didn't the server just start for less than a month? Why were divine equipment appearing one after another? The players were dumbfounded. Originally, Tyrant had obtained a mythical equipment, but everyone could still convince themselves that it was luck. But now, in just 10 days, another mythical equipment had appeared on the leaderboard. Can someone tell me what's mythical demigod? The information is too high-end. Us mortals can't understand it. Strange, why are there 2 names for the owner of this equipment? Someone discovered the important information on the leaderboard and immediately caused a wave of commotion in the crowd. Then, countless players analyzed this information and came to a conclusion. This Aisha should be Tyrant's pet. Pfft. As soon as he said this, countless players spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn, I only obtained a set of bronze grade equipment now, but this guy's pets are all wearing mythical grade equipment. Is this the same game? God, Tyrant is awesome. I'm worse than a pet. What's there to live for in this world? This game makes me doubt my life. Why isn't there a report option? This Tyrant is clearly cheating. Is the system not going to do anything? I'm kneeling to the God tier player now. Tyrant, I'm your long-lost daughter, Daddy. When they realized that Aisha was Lorne's pet, all the players in the Divine Realm went crazy. The entire game forum was flooded with relevant posts. Inside the Church of Light. Your follower is very special. She has a very strong affinity for light, but... The Dragon of Light looked at Lorne and said, her identity is even more special. It might affect your subsequent journey. Effect. Lorne immediately perked up. It seemed that the Dragon of Light was about to give him a new mission. Yes, the elves themselves are opposed to the communication between elves and humans, especially when signing a master-slave contract. Furthermore, she has the royal bloodline of the Night Elves. As one of the successors of the Night Elves, her people might be more hostile to you. As for the effect, if you want to obtain the qualification to master the Divine Radiance, you need the recognition of the chiefs of the dragon race, so your second mission is not with me. The Dragon of Light said slowly. Please enlighten me, Dragon God. Lorne nodded. He had a feeling about the development of the mission. After all, this mission was about the Divine Dragon of Order. It could not be so simple. Your next mission is to go to the western border of Iron Skull City and find the Dragon of Emerald, Lena, in the Elven Kingdom. She is the guardian of the elves and the leader of the Emerald Dragon race. Hearing this, Lorne finally understood why the Dragon of Light had said that Aisha's identity would affect him. It turned out that the second phase of the mission was in the Elven Kingdom. What was worth mentioning here was that the Elven Kingdom was not a race, but a country jointly established by many different types of elves. The Night Elves were only one of them. Aisha was formerly from the Night Elves who lived in Iron Skull City, not in the Elven Kingdom. This made Lorne hesitate, because he had another mission: Holy Angel's Resurrection. The mission was to let Lorne bring Aisha to the Elves' land and let her receive the nourishment of the ancient Tree of Life to recover her pure elemental body. He did not know if the ancient Tree of Life was with the Night Elves. If he went to the Elven Kingdom, it would definitely cause more trouble. Wait, Dragon God, I have another request. Chapter 176, A Race That Knows Technology. Seeing that the Dragon of Light was about to leave, Lorne quickly called out to it, Dragon God, as an adventurer who has fought the dark forces many times, I know that one person's strength cannot affect the situation. Therefore, I would like to ask you to give me a city creation token so that I can build a city and cooperate with other adventurers to resist the invasion of the Dark Abyss. Yes, Lorne was asking for the city creation token. This was unavoidable. This was because he had no idea where he was going to find the city creation token. It seemed that the game progress had not met the requirements yet, and such a tool had not been announced yet. Therefore, in order to avoid any accidents in the cold, desolate Dragon City, Lorne could only ask the Dragon of Light shamelessly. Yes, you have a point. However, the city creation token is not an ordinary tool. Having the city creation token means that you have the permission of Iron Skull City to build a personal city within the territory of Iron Skull City. Although I am the Dragon of Light, I cannot directly interfere with the system of the human empire, so I cannot directly give you the city creation token. But don't worry. There has been a war at the border of Iron Skull City recently. According to my understanding, in order to fulfill the military plan, Iron Skull City will issue a special mission to the adventurers recently. The reward is a city creation token. I believe that with your strength, it should not be difficult to obtain this reward. After the Dragon of Light finished speaking, it slowly flew into the spatial vortex above under the circle of angels until it disappeared. Lorne also left the Church of Light. On the way, he opened the mission panel. This was his latest mission. Divine Radiance, 2. Quality, Epic. Content, the Dragon of Light, Haymet, believes that you have the potential to inherit the Divine Radiance, so he has decided to give you the most stringent test. However, in order to truly obtain the qualification to inherit, you need to obtain the recognition of the dragon race's leaders. Therefore, you need to go to any city in the Elven Kingdom, find the Elven Holy Temple, meet the noble dragon of Emerald, Lena, and accept her test. Level recommendation, 40. There was no specific information about the mission. Everything could only be known after meeting the dragon of Emerald, Lena. As for the suggested level above, this was a reminder from the system, making Lorne have an estimation of this mission. It just so happened that Lorne had his own matters to deal with. He could leave after completing them. After leaving the Church of Light, Lorne began to plan his next step. There were many things he needed to prepare now. First, he had to raise his level to level 40. This was the most important mission recently. While carrying out this mission, he had other matters to deal with. For example, finding an organization that could repair the city. In Divine Realm, 3 races had a natural advantage in the construction industry. They were human, gnomes, and Titan. These 3 races each had their own advantages. For example, humans were good at implementing construction plans, gnomes were good at using machinery and design, and Titans were good at building large buildings. Lorne was also surprised that mechanical technology was not controlled by humans in this world. For example, in Iron Skull City, Lorne did not see any sophisticated technology here. The only thing that needed technology was a cannon on the city wall, but he had heard that it was specially designed by the gnomes. Perhaps because the magic and sword arts in this world were too powerful, people did not think highly of mechanical technology. This was easy to understand. After all, when everyone could fly on their own, the existence of planes was meaningless. Gnomes have automated robots. Lorne's eyes suddenly widened. He had discovered manpower that suited him best: robots. Although the official information only stated a few things, it filled Lorne with hope. If he could purchase mining robots, he would be able to mine the mineral veins near the Lake of Death. In this way, the funds needed to repair the cold, desolate Dragon City would be resolved. With that in mind, Lorne's goal became clear. There seems to be a small tribe of gnomes under the jurisdiction of Iron Skull City. Let's find bars first. The gnomes mainly do business with ores. As the leader of the Blacksmith Guild in Iron Skull City, he should know about this. With that in mind, Lorne headed for the Blacksmith Guild. At this moment, his friend list suddenly lit up. Brother Tyrant, quickly go to the Alchemist Association and collect all the potions for the next half a year. Hurry, hurry. This was a message from Twinkle Rose. For some reason, she wanted Lorne to buy all the potions for the next 6 months. The event in the ruins of the war had clearly only lasted for 10 days, but now that it had ended, there was no point in hoarding the antidotes. As the guild leader, it was impossible for Twinkle Rose to not know this. Something special must have happened. Could it be? A thought suddenly occurred to Lorne. He immediately checked the information of the event and found that the event that was about to end had changed again. Mission: May the dead rest in peace. Content: The Dragon of Light, Haymet has discovered that the minions of the Dark Faction have infiltrated the ruins of the war. In the ruins, they have polluted the corpses of the soldiers and now issue a mission to all adventurers. All players who have reached level 20 can receive a raid mission in the Church of Light. Head to the ruins of the war and find the remains of the Empire's soldiers. Bury them in the Empire Cemetery. You will obtain the reputation of the Empire because of this. From the mission information, it could be seen that this mission was continued because Lorne had reported the undead Lich's resurrection of the dragon skeleton. However, the mission reward changed. Last time, it was faction reputation, but this time, it was empire reputation. Moreover, the ratio of using corpses to exchange for reputation points had decreased by 10 times. It was difficult for players to complete a mission with such benefits, but large guilds valued reputation points very much. They should send a portion of their people to kill monsters in that area. Therefore, there was still a market for antidotes. Seeing this, Lorne replied to the beautiful guild leader, "Don't worry, I'm on the way to the Alchemist Association." Twinkle Rose immediately said happily, "Brother, please sell more potions to me in the future. When I'm free, I'll come find you. At that time, I'll definitely shower you with love. Remember to clean yourself." Tisk, tisk, tisk. Chapter 177, A New Potion Contract. Tyrant is here. Tyrant, don't go. I'm here to buy medicine. Tyrant has escaped. He's the only one with the antidote. Tyrant, take pity on me. It's not easy for a poor kid like me to earn money. When Lorne left through the back door of the Church of Light, due to the lack of hidden IDs, countless players quickly recognized him and surrounded him. Because the contract period between the Alchemist Association and Lorne had not passed, these players who returned to the main city were still unable to buy potions from the Alchemist Association or the retail market. Therefore, the moment they saw Lorne, they went crazy. Lorne was also shocked by the players' enthusiasm. Being surrounded by so many people, if these people flew into a rage and started spitting, he would definitely drown in a second. Therefore, he quickly activated the skill he had just obtained, Triple Blink. Swish! 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 With 3 rapid flashes, Lorne appeared 150 yards away, leaving the troublesome area. Gosh! What's going on? Where's Master Tyrant? The players who were about to denounce Lorne were all surprised. The potion monopoly that they had just surrounded had disappeared under the eyes of hundreds of pairs of eyes. On the surrounding buildings, some players rubbed their eyes and said in surprise, "What happened? Why did I see a figure flash in my vision 3 times? Little brother, is your internet unstable? Did you freeze?" His friend comforted him. "Perhaps. My family's internet is indeed quite bad." Moving away from the crowd, Lorne quickly ran towards the Alchemist Association. His contract with President Doge was about to expire. He had to negotiate with him before the time was up. With the previous cooperation, the following cooperation was more likely. With that in mind, Lorne arrived at his destination. It could be seen that the number of players gathered here was not inferior to that of the Church of Light. Most of them were second-hand merchants and players sent by large guilds to buy supplies. Everyone here thought that they could occupy a good position and buy enough potions at a critical time. At that time, they would sell them and definitely obtain a huge amount of wealth. Lorne did not disturb these people. He directly used the triple blink test and quickly entered the Alchemist Association with a distance of more than 100 meters. Under the lead of the NPC, he found the Alchemist Association's guild leader in the Alchemist Association's database Doge. "Adventurer, we meet again." Seeing Lorne arrive, President Doge put down the herbs in his hand and greeted him with a smile. Because of the contract with Lorne, he sold all the antidotes in the guild. In the following 10 days, their guild also produced many potions and obtained a lot of gold coins. Therefore, in his eyes, Lorne was a very important guest. "President Doge, I came this time for the contract between us. We expected you to come." Doge removed his reading glasses and said, "Adventurer, you want to extend the contract, right?" "Indeed." Lorne said, "I want to extend the contract until the next half a year. During this half a year, the guild will continue to produce. I will purchase them at the same price as before. With the players' leveling speed, in the next 2 months, their level would at most reach level 40. After reaching this level, the ruins of the war was definitely their ideal training area. In the ruins of the war, not only were there a large number of high-level monsters, but killing them could also accumulate reputation. It was killing two birds with one stone. There was no reason for them to leave. Therefore, Lorne wanted to sign a half-year contract. However, guild leader Doge shook his head. "I'm very sorry, adventurer. Our guild cannot continue to sign such an agreement with you." "Why?" "Because we recently received a notification from Iron Skull City that a large department needs to focus on refining the antidote to satisfy the needs of the Iron Skull City's army. In addition, Iron Skull City recently plans to let the adventurers start sweeping through the ruins of the war. Our Alchemist Association has been forced to provide the antidotes in the various shops in the main city. So our contract can't continue." Doge looked at him apologetically, then continued, "However, seeing that we're on such good terms, I can reserve a portion of the potion for you every day. If you want, I'll continue to provide it to you at the previous price. How about it?" "That's great. Thank you for your care, President Doge." No matter how little the profits were, they were still profits. Of course, Lorne would not let it go. He and President Doge quickly reached an agreement to cooperate. The Alchemist Association reserved 5,000 antidotes for Lorne every day for 50 bronze coins. According to the previous price, this could also bring extremely generous returns to Lorne. But now that the shops in the main city would sell the antidote, it meant that Lorne had to reduce the price to ensure his sales. The price of the shop was 1 silver coin. If Lorne wanted the players to buy the potion he had, the price had to be less than 1 silver coin. If calculated at the price of 90 bronze coins, 5,000 antidotes would bring Lorne a net profit of 60,000. 60,000 coins a day was a terrifying income for anyone, but compared to before, this income was much lower. "That's all. I still have something to deal with today, so I won't accompany you." After signing the contract again, Doge put on his reading glasses and began to flip through the information, as if he wanted to know about the herb beside him. Seeing this, Lorne's eyes could not help but light up. He remembered that he still had a red herb that he had not identified. How much could it be worth? However, he did not directly take out the herbs, but instead asked Doge, "Guild leader, do you have any questions about the herbs in your hand?" "Yes." President Doge smiled bitterly and said in shame, "To be honest, I'm indeed searching for information regarding this herb. This is a herb that has been kept in the guild warehouse. It's very precious, but unfortunately, with my experience, I still can't recognize its name and its medicinal properties. In the divine realm, when an alchemist appraised a medicinal herb, they had to raise their herb identification skill to a very high level. Otherwise, they would not be able to identify the medicinal properties of this herb." Although Doge was the Alchemist Association's guild leader, there were still things he did not know, and this medicinal herb was the problem he was currently facing. Seeing this, Lorne knew that it was his turn to perform. Chapter 178, Raising Affinity. "President, I have a certain amount of knowledge regarding medicinal herbs. Can you let me try?" Among the rewards from the Dragon of Light previously, there was the Dragon's Pharmacopoeia. This tool could allow Lorne, who did not have any herb identification skill, to evaluate most herbs. Moreover, this was the dragon race's pharmacopoeia. The records regarding rare herbs were definitely much more complete than the information of other races. "You." President Doge was stunned for a moment, then shook his head and smiled. He did not believe that a young man who did not even reach the Earth realm would know this special herb that even he, the Alchemist Association's president, did not know. Despite this thought, President Doge agreed to Lorne's request. He placed the herbs on the tray and let Lorne appraise them. Lorne touched the herb and the function of Dragon's Pharmacopoeia was immediately triggered. An attributes panel identified appeared in front of him. Jade Snake Orchid. Grade, Rare. Effect. Prescription. Production. Introduction. It could be seen that this panel was filled with information. Just the medicinal effect alone had a few hundred words. After all, it was a high-grade medicinal herb. It was understandable that it had many uses. However, at this moment, Lorne could not help but praise the power of the dragon's pharmacopoeia. He had only identified a single medicinal herb, but it had actually found a suitable formula. Not only that, but the dragon's pharmacopoeia could even identify the location where the herb grew. This function was really too powerful. President Doge, if I'm not mistaken, this herb should be the jade snake orchid. Lorne said deliberately. What? You're saying this is the legendary jade snake orchid? President Doge was shocked and could not believe his ears. Indeed. Lorne nodded calmly and said directly to the information panel in front of him, this herb is the jade snake orchid. It only grows in a monster nest called the jade horn snake and relies on the jade horn snake's fallen jade horns as nutrients. Therefore, any jade snake orchid contains rich magic power. Typically, alchemists will use this magical herb as a supplementary herb for the potion. This way, the potion's effect will be even stronger. However, the jade snake orchid is also very useful to monsters, so usually, when this herb ripens, it will be directly swallowed by the jade horn snake in the nest, so there are very few mature jade snake orchids in the outside world. If you don't believe me, you can place the jade horn snake's jade horn fragment on the leaves. This medicinal herb will gradually absorb the energy on the jade horn and grow a new root. Hearing Lorne describe the medicinal properties of the jade serpent orchid in such detail, Doge basically believed him, but he still wanted to confirm it. Therefore, he found the jade horn fragment and placed it on the medicinal herb's leaves. It did not take long for the jade horn fragment to lose its magical energy. A long, thin root grew from the root of the herb. If it was given soil, it would regain its vitality. Seeing this, Doge completely believed Lorne's conclusion. That's right. That's right. This is the jade snake orchid. Doge laughed loudly, then looked at Lorne in amazement. Thank you, my friend. There are almost no mature jade snake orchids on the market. I even forgot about this medicinal herb. Fortunately, with your guidance, after knowing that it's jade snake orchid, I'm even more confident in my next high-level potion refinement. I really did not expect you to have such knowledge at such a young age. It makes me, the guild leader, feel ashamed. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the admiration of the Alchemist Association's guild leader, Doge. Obtained, Doge's Affinity plus 500. A system notification suddenly appeared. Seeing the reward, Lorne was in a good mood. This Doge in front of him was the Alchemist Association's guild leader. In the future, if the cold desolate dragon city was built, he might be able to cooperate with them as a main city. At that time, the benefits would definitely be incomparably huge. While Lorne was thinking, Doge had already placed the information on the table back on the shelf and walked out the door. At the same time, he said, "My friend, in the Alchemist Association's warehouse, there are a large number of herbs that have not been labeled with names and medicinal properties. Can you help us complete this difficult mission?" Of course. Lorne accepted the invitation. How could he let go of such a chance to gain affinity for nothing? Therefore, Lorne followed Doge to the Alchemist Association's warehouse. Under Doge's lead, Lorne saw one herb after another. These herbs were not labeled. Without hesitation, Lorne began to appraise it. President Doge, this herb is called the Shining Sunflower. It's born in the mouth of a scorching volcano and has very rich fire elemental energy. It's a special combustion agent for smelting ores. This herb is called the Ice Lotus. It can only be harvested on a mountain range of 10,000 meters. This is called the Earth Dragon Vine. It is a very special corrosive vine. When refining healing potions, it can corrode the poison on other herbs. This is a longevity fruit. Every fruit needs 100 years to mature. In the following period of time, Lorne stayed in the Alchemist Association's warehouse and began to identify various herbs. President Doge was completely stunned. He could not understand how this young man's knowledge of herbs was so rich. Not only did he know all about rare herbs, but he also knew all the special herbs from the ancient era like the back of his hand. Such knowledge subverted Doge's worldview. Ding! You have identified an unknown herb. Doge's affinity with you plus 100. You. On the system notification panel, information kept jumping. Almost every time he identified a medicinal herb, Lorne would obtain 100 affinity points from Doge. When he saw that the affinity between him and Doge was rising crazily, Lorne made up his mind. This time, he had to raise the affinity between him and Doge to the highest limit. President Doge, I see that the medicinal properties of many of the herbs you marked are not complete. Let me help you guys recover the medicinal properties of these herbs. Lorne gave up on the idea of quickly completing everything and began to appraise the supplies in the Alchemist Association. Even the medicinal list in the database was used by Lorne to supplement the information. As for Doge beside him, his face was already covered in tears. Their guild had not given this friend anything, but this friend helped them without asking for anything in return. This was too touching. Chapter 179, The Tyrant Award. Just like that, Lorne led Doge forward and explained the names, effects, and details of all the herbs in the warehouse. Because these were all precious information, Doge quickly brought a book and recorded every word that Lorne said. This was not a small project. As the Alchemist Association of Iron Skull City, the warehouse here had accumulated countless medicinal herbs. Moreover, because Iron Skull City was at the border of the Empire, the unprecedented war had also begun here, so there were also countless medicinal herbs that were difficult to distinguish. However, to Doge's surprise, no matter how ancient and rare these herbs were, they did not obstruct the adventurer in front of him at all. Almost all the herbs were easily identified by him, and he even introduced the source and special refinement methods in detail. Time slowly passed. Lorne stayed in the Alchemist Association for 2 days. During this period, other than eating, sleeping, and using the washroom, he basically brought Doge to appraise herbs. To be honest, such a game journey was very torturous, especially when everyone was training crazily. However, Lorne was happy and in pain. The information about the increase in affinity that kept echoing in his ears raised his fighting spirit. Ding! Congratulations on reaching 10,000 affinity points with NPC Doge. Doge's attitude towards you is, friend. Congratulations on reaching 50,000 affinity points with NPC Doge. Doge's attitude towards you is, admiration. Congratulations on reaching 100,000 affinity points with NPC Doge. Doge's attitude towards you is, idolization. By the morning of the 3rd day, the affinity between Lorne and Doge finally broke through 100,000. After all, he was the guild leader of the Alchemist Association in Iron Skull City and a high-level NPC. Lorne actually had 100,000 affinity points with him at this moment. This was crazy. With such a relationship, he could completely ask the NPCs to help him issue hidden missions or even invite him to work in his city. At the same time, it was worth noting that compared to players, NPCs had higher loyalty. As long as there were no special circumstances, they would definitely not stand on the opposite side. My dearest friend, I think that in this world, there are no adventurers who are more friendly to the Alchemist Association than you. Doge had completely submitted to Lorne's charisma. At this moment, he was like a student who had just entered a school. He followed behind Lorne and recorded everything he said. After all the herbs were identified, he came to Lorne and said extremely sincerely, "My dearest friend, I sincerely invite you to join the Alchemist Association. I believe that in this honorable guild, your talent will definitely be of the greatest use. In addition, I plan to edit the information about the medicinal herbs you just identified into a book of rare medicinal herbs. I will write your name on the author page. In the future, every alchemist who reads this book will thank you for your outstanding contribution. What do you think?" "Sure," Lorne said, however, I can't join the Alchemist Association. In the future, I will definitely build my own territory and create an organization that will gather the top alchemists in the world. At that time, I hope that President Doge can consider coming to me. If that day really comes, I will definitely not refuse. Doge looked at Lorne excitedly. If other adventurers had said this to him, he would not have cared, but this one was different. With his wisdom, he might really be able to complete such a magnificent feat. By the way, friend, I plan to print and publish your An Introduction to Rare Medicinal Herbs book for all alchemists in the world to learn and reference. You can take 70% of the profits during this period. I will be responsible for organizing and arranging it. As the second author, I will obtain 10% of the profits. As for the remaining 20%, I plan to set up an Alchemist Award. I will also name it after you, the Tyrant Award. I hope that the future alchemists will remember your great contribution to the alchemy world. Doge looked at Lorne with anticipation. This had always been his dream, and now was the opportunity. He wanted to obtain the approval of this friend. Yes, I agree with you. Without thinking, Lorne agreed. Initially, he only wanted to gain some affinity, but who would have thought that not only was Doge preparing to help him publish books, but he was also planning to create a global award? How could he not agree to such a good thing? Especially the matter of setting up an award, the progress of this matter could help Lorne reach the goal of forming the world's strongest alchemist organization. My dear friend, thank you for your support. I'll do it later. Doge was extremely happy. He carefully put away the book in his hand and looked at Lorne again. Friend, didn't you buy a batch of potions from us? Do you need me to help you get a shop for selling potions? A shop? Lorne's eyes widened at the word. Previously, when he was checking the information of games, he had seen players operating shops. Their annual income exceeded 10 million alliance dollars. One had to know that was an old game before virtual technology. Moreover, the number of players was only tens of millions. It could not compare to the billions of dollars in Divine Realm. In those games, he could open a shop and earn tens of millions a year. Then, if he opened a shop in the Divine Realm, wouldn't he be able to directly earn a few hundred million? Moreover, the shops in the game could be taken care of by NPCs. The players did not have to spend much effort. In other words, this was an additional income for no effort. In that case, there was no need to hesitate. Yes. Yes. Lorne immediately nodded and asked, would it be troublesome to register for a shop in Iron Skull City? If you have the identity of an adventurer, it will indeed be very troublesome, but I can let you become an honorary elder of our Alchemist Association. This way, I can directly hand over the shops under the guild to you to manage. Other than the basic ownership of the shops being the guild, the rest will be completely managed by you. Of course, the monthly rental and employment fees of the shop need to be paid by you. In terms of profits, other than the normal tax deduction, the guild will not take any dividends. No problem. Lorne had no objections. Compared to the income of the shop, the monthly rental and employment fees were nothing. Chapter 180, The First Player-Owned Shop. Then, Lorne left the Alchemist Association with Doge. About the shop, Doge decided to help him complete it as soon as possible. When the two of them walked out of the Alchemist Association, there was still a sea of people in front of them. Many players from organizations hoped to buy the antidote as soon as possible, especially the players from the World Destruction Guild. The World Destruction Guild had colluded with the guilds of the Dark Faction. There was even a guild they supported with a lot of money in Blood Shadow City. Therefore, they wanted to develop in the ruins of the war and let the guild players of the two factions level up together to occupy the area where the high-level monsters were active. Boss, our people have been waiting at the entrance of the Alchemist Association for a long time. How can we be unable to buy the potions? At the headquarters of the World Destruction Guild, Crossfire looked at Spec. Most of the potions in the guild had been used up. If there were no more potions, the guild players would have to temporarily leave the war ruins. This was too wasteful of everyone's time. It shouldn't be. The Church of Light just issued a new mission. There should be enough antidotes. Let's wait a while. Looking at the huge guild on the screen, Spec thought of that detestable guy, Tyrant. That guy had relied on the antidote to earn hundreds of millions in 10 days. The potion was only 1 silver coin, but in the ruins of the war, the price had increased by 4 to 5 times. The profits were also terrifyingly high, much higher than the income of such a black industry. It was simply a huge profit. Just as the two of them were chatting, 2 people walked out of the Alchemist Association's entrance on the screen. One of them was Tyrant, and behind him was actually the Alchemist Association's guild leader, Doge. Damn! No wonder this scoundrel can monopolize the antidote. It turns out that he has some shady business with that old thing, Doge. Crossfire looked shocked. Spec also suppressed his envy and said with a dark expression, "Keep an eye on Tyrant. I reckon the next batch of antidotes will still be in his hands." "Yes, I'll arrange it now. We're here." Doge led Lorne to a busy street and pointed at a shop filled with players. "That's the shop I prepared for you." "Thank you." Lorne quickly opened the main city map and checked the terrain. Soon, he realized that this shop was located in the golden spot in the city. There was a huge resurrection array on the left, and the city gate on the right. Whether it was the players who returned from the city after death or those who were preparing to leave the city, they could easily pass by this shop. When the flow of people in front of a shop was high, its sales would increase. This was an iron rule. Of course, this shop was located in the center of the 2 key areas, and it was easy to lose many customers. After all, everyone liked to buy in the first shop they encountered. This location would indeed be affected. However, it was already incredible that he could obtain his own shop in such a prosperous area. To be honest, Lorne had not expected Doge to hand such a shop to him. "Friend, let's sign the contract now." Doge did not waste any time. He directly drafted a contract for the transfer of the shop. There were no additional conditions on it, and he simply wanted to hand this shop over to Lorne for management. When Lorne signed his name, he became the boss of the shop. The system regarding shops was immediately activated. Seeing the unlocked option, Lorne was basically certain that he was the first player to have a personal shop in Divine Realm. Ding! "Would you like to continue renting this shop? Rent, 10,000 gold coins per month." Note, due to the transfer of the shop to an adventurer, this shop will refresh the rental fees. Please submit the corresponding rental fees within 3 days. A game notification appeared in front of Lorne. It stated very clearly that if he wanted to operate this shop, he had to pay the monthly rent. 10,000 gold coins was not a small amount. The gold coins that Lorne got from selling potions had been sold to Twinkle Rose again, so he had to prepare some. Of course, this was not difficult. If he wanted money, he could borrow it from Super Rich. He definitely had enough gold coins on him. Indeed, when he heard that Lorne was here to borrow gold coins, Super Rich immediately transferred 20,000 gold coins over. There was no agreement between the two of them. Perhaps this was a true tycoon. This joy was not something Lorne could experience for the time being. "I'll make the payment." With the money, Lorne immediately paid the monthly rent. The monthly rental of the shop was 10,000 gold coins, but the shop still needed someone to manage it, so Lorne still had to spend a lot of money to hire a manager. The higher the quality of the manager, the more control they had over the market, and the greater their management ability. Therefore, Lorne was not stingy. He directly spent 5,000 gold coins to hire an epic-grade shop manager and a few employees with good economy skills. As for the remaining 5,000 gold coins, in addition to being used for wholesale items and cash flow, Lorne had another use. He wanted to change the layout of the shop. This shop was a 2-story building. The area was not very large, about 200 square meters. Lorne felt that its previous renovation had wasted a lot of space, so he planned to modify it. At this moment, Doge had already gone back to edit the book on herbs, so the rest was left to Lorne to deal with alone. He directly found an NPC who knew how to decorate and chose a simple way to refurbish the shop. That was to tear down all the dividers in the shop. Then, he designed a few counters on both sides. This way, the shop appeared much larger, and the items sold could be seen more clearly by the customers. As for the second floor, Lorne turned it into an auction house. As the number one player in the world, the equipment he had were all divine equipment in the eyes of ordinary players. In the future, they would inevitably compete with each other. This way, not only could he make a name for himself, but he could also earn enough benefits. The work of the NPCs was very fast. Coupled with the simple layout set by Lorne, everything was completed in about 10 hours. Lorne brought the hired NPCs into the shop and began distributing work to them. First of all, the left counters specialized in selling potions. All kinds of potions occupied 4 counters. Then, the right counters specialized in selling equipment and items. It also had 4 counters. Finally, there was a huge counter in front that specialized in selling high-grade items, equipment, and other precious items. It was managed by the epic-grade NPC in the shop. She was also the manager of this shop. In the future, the basic operations of the shop would be handled by her.